All right, going live on YouTube today. Midweek, but it is a Shabbat. Today, we celebrate the Day of Trumpets 2022. Okay. Today, first day of the 7th month, a memorial of blowing of trumpets. All right. So, welcome everyone to Just a Word. This is a bonus for you. All right. Yeah. And a bonus for us.
You're on mute, Brother Kazak. You're muted.
Mic check 1, 2. All right. You hearing me now, Dwayne?
Yes, hearing you loud and clear.
All right. Okay, so let's begin. All right. Today, the Day of Trumpets, we look at the power behind the trumpet because the Day of Trumpets is a mysterious, mysterious feast because not much information was given to us in the Torah. Just tell us to have a memorial of blowing of trumpets. But we are gonna see today. We're just gonna look at trumpets and the different uses of trumpets. It's just a kind of educational thing to get us to understand the power behind trumpets and how integral the trumpets were and are and will be to our people and how it was used by our people in those days, the different uses of a trumpet. Because when you hear Day of Trumpets, the uses of it has not been highlighted. We've seen it over and over in scripture. Tens of times we see the word trumpet, but we just breeze over it and don't really look into it. It is like the way of life of our people that has been lost in time, and because we have been morphed into a different way of life, the Babylonian way of life, it will seem strange to us and seem insignificant to us, but we're going to see how significant it is. So today we look at the power behind the trumpets and the Day of Trumpets 2022. Now, the feast days, let me get this thing. Let me have a look here. All right, it's here, pinned there. All right. So, yeah. All right. So the feast of Yahuwah. So let's begin and look at the fact that the feasts were instituted before man was created. We have to lay this foundation that the Most High instituted the feast even before man was created. So it was like the firmament was created which day? The lights were created on the 4th day. All right. So this is the 4th day, and man was created on what? The 6th day. So could you read, please, Shamuel? Genesis 1:14.
And Alua said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years and years.
So when he created the great lights, the sun and the moon, he said, let them be for signs and for seasons. You see an asterisk here, highlighting seasons. Oh, many people will think of seasons as spring, summer, winter, and fall. And we've looked at this several times before in several teachings because it's integral to our understanding of several teachings, which is why you'll see us repeat it. Okay? So the seasons there comes from the Hebrew word moed, which is from H3259, properly an appointment. That is a fixed time or season, specifically a festival, conventionally a year, by implication an assembly as convened for a definite purpose. So even before man was created, the Most High created fixed times for festivals, for assemblies, for man to assemble together, even before he created man. Technically, the congregation, by extension, the place of meeting, also a signal as appointed beforehand. Appointed sign, appointed time, place of solemn assembly, congregation, set assembly, feast. So before man was created, the Most High created his sun and the moon for his feasts. Appointed due season, solemnity, synagogue, set time appointed. So at an appointed time each year, depending on the time of the sun and the moon, the Most High created his feasts. So people who are saying that the feasts are for the Jews and the feasts are just for a time are in total error. They were created before man was created because they were forever. So another thing we have to look at is that Yahuwah claimed the feasts as his. When we reject his feasts, we reject him. Let me say it again. Yahuwah claimed the feasts as his feasts. We reject his feasts, we reject him. Talking about how important it is to keep his feasts. Leviticus 25:55. Could you read, please, Ak?
For unto me the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am Yahuwah your Allah.
So his people are his servants. The children of Yasharal are his servants. Now, a servant can only do what the master commands, right, Shamuel?
Yep.
The servant has no, and that servant, the bond servant. The bond servant has no mind of his own, cannot decide what he wants to do. The bond servant has to do what the master commands him to do. So let's see what the master commands the servants to do concerning the feast. Bottom left, Leviticus 23:1, please. To 2.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of Yahuwah, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feast.
Even these are my feasts. So look at the verse 2. It says, Speak unto who? The children of Israel. Speak unto my servants, and say unto them concerning the feasts of Yahuwah. He is claiming the feasts to be his, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, holy meetings, which means you have to meet according to his stipulations on the feast day. Even these are my feasts. So in one verse, he claimed the feasts to be his twice. Twice he claimed the feast to be his. Continue in Leviticus 23:37, down bottom
These
right.
are the feasts of Yahuwah, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. to offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah, a burnt offering, and a meat offering, a sacrifice and drink offerings, everything upon his day.
All right. So he's telling us again that these are the feasts of Yahuwah. And you shall make an offering to him on that day. And then he told us in 38. Go to 38, please.
Beside the Sabbaths of Yahuwah, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings, which ye give unto Yahuwah.
So what he's actually saying there is, beside everything else that you do, no matter what else you do, that does not count in what I'm telling you now. Those things are aside. This you must do besides the other things that you have done. Okay? So you keep the 7-day Shabbat. But besides the 7-day Sabbath, you must keep my feast. All right? That sounds clear, right, Shamuel?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so the bottom line of the covenants are probably the most important thing for us in these last days is the correlation between the trumpets and the covenants. When the law was given, the sound of the trumpet was blasted, and we're going to look at that further down, so we don't do it right here. And when Hamashiach returns to redeem us and bring us into the bond of the new covenant, a trumpet shall herald his return. So the trumpet is directly related to the covenants. So let's look at the command for the day of trumpets. Numbers 29:1. Read, please.
And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, ye shall have an holy convocation, and ye shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing the trumpets unto you.
It is a day of blowing the trumpets. So, a whole day of blowing trumpets. That's what the day entails. And that's all the Most High said. He gave a little more details in Leviticus 23 to 25. So let's see the little bit more details that he gave us. Read, please.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Yasharal, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation.
All right. So, in the first day of the month shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation. Verse 25.
Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah.
All right. So, no servile work, where you can prepare food, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. So those are all the things that it entails. 7th day, first month. It is a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation, no servile work, and offer an offering made by fire. Okay. So we're gonna look at different uses of trumpets. We're gonna look at, of course, we said it is the power behind the trumpet. So we're gonna see how trumpets are used in the scripture to see the significance of there being a day of trumpets. Now, the trumpet is used for summoning or assembling our people. Blow the trumpet and gather my people. Judges 3:27. Read, please.
And it came to pass when he was come, that he blew a trumpet in the mountain of Ephraim, and the children of Yasharah went down with him from the mount, and he before them.
All right, so we see the use of the trumpet to assemble our people. So that is why when Hamashiach returns and the trumpet sounds, that the angels are going to gather his people, his elect from the four winds. Same principle. Trumpet sounds, gathering. Verse 34.
But the Spirit of Yahweh came upon Gideon, and he blew a trumpet, and Abiezer was gathered after him.
He blew a trumpet, and Abiezer was gathered after him. That is the trumpet used for gathering. So the trumpet is also used in battle as a powerful battle tool to confuse the enemy. And we see the account of Gideon and the use of a trumpet. Judges 7:16 to 22. Judges 7:16. Go ahead, please, Ak. Let me get this thing on full screen. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, loading. Okay. And he, one sec. And he divided the 300 men into 3 companies, and he put a trumpet in every man's hands, with empty pitchers and lamps within the pitchers.
Yeah, continue.
And he said unto them, Look on me, and do likewise. And behold, when I come to the outside of the camp, it shall be that as I do, so shall ye do. When I blow with the trumpet, I and all that are with me, then blow ye the trumpets also on every side of all the camp, and say, The sword of Yahuwah and of Gideon.
Sword of Yahuwah and of Gideon. So let's see it in action. Continue.
So Gideon and the 100 men that were with him came unto the outside of the camp in the beginning of the middle watch, and they had but newly set the watch. And they blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers that were in their hands.
Continue.
And the 3 companies blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers and held the lamps in their left hands and the trumpets in their right hands to blow withal. And they cried, The sword of Yahuwah and of Gideon.
What happened?
And they stood every man in his place round about the camp, and all the host ran and cried and fled.
Continue.
And the 300 blew the trumpets, and Yahuwah set every man's sword against his fellow, even throughout all the host. And the host fled to Beth Shittah in Zererath, and to the border of Abel Meholah, unto Tabbath.
All right. So we see again the use of the trumpet and the power behind the trumpet. Yahuwah works through the trumpet to achieve his will. Right throughout what we're going to look at Yahuwah working through the use of this instrument, this trumpet, which is why he had a day. Can you imagine having a day for an instrument? Why would Yahuwah have a day for an instrument? Because that instrument is so powerful in his in achieving his will. Yeah? That it had to be highlighted. So the trumpet is also used for praise. Alright? Praise Yahuwah with the trumpet. 2 Chronicles 5:12 to 13. Let's go. Let me get this thing highlighted. Go ahead.
Also the Levites, which were the singers, all of them of Asaph, of Heman, of Jeduthun, with their sons and their brethren, being arrayed in white linen, having cymbals and psalteries and harps, stood at the east end of the altar, and with them 120 priests sounding with trumpets.
120 priests. And we know the 120 is the 12 number there by 10. Yahuwah's authority, governmental authority. All right, so these are the priests showing Yahuwah's authority, 120. Verse 13.
It came even to pass, as the trumpeters and singers were as one, to make one sound to be heard in praising and thanking Yahuwah. And when they lifted up their voice with the trumpets and cymbals and instruments of music, and praised Yahuwah, saying, For he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. That then the house was filled with a cloud, even the house of Yahuwah.
All right, so you see how powerful the trumpet being a part of this this thing, blowing the trumpet, singing, playing the cymbals and the other instruments. The house was filled with a cloud. So that what happened? Verse 14.
So that the priest could not stand to minister by reason of the cloud, for the glory of Yahuwah had filled the house of Alua.
Ah, that's the power behind the trumpet. All right, so all of us who don't have a trumpet now to get it, and people like me who cannot blow the trumpet, well, have to learn to blow the trumpet. Trumpet for worship. Oh, I didn't finish praise. Second Chronicles 7:7. Yeah, more praise. Read, please.
Moreover, Solomon hallowed the middle of the court that was before the house of Yahuwah. For there he offered burnt offerings and the fat of the peace offerings, because the brazen.
No. This is the wrong one. It's 6. 6, please.
And the priests waited on their offices. The Levites also with instruments of music of Yahuwah, which David the king had made to praise Yahuwah, because his mercy endureth forever. When David praised by their ministry, and the priests sounded trumpets before them, and all Israel stood.
All right, so that's the trumpet praise. Psalm 98, verse 4. Read, please.
Make a joyful noise unto Yahuwah, all the earth. Make a loud noise and rejoice and sing praise. Sing unto Yahuwah with the harp and the voice of a psalm, with trumpets and sound of cornet. Make a joyful noise before Yahuwah the King.
All right, so this is what the day is about. Make a joyful noise to Yahuwah with the trumpets. So that is praise. So let's go to worship now. Using the trumpets for worship. Second Chronicles 29:26. See, these are little things that we ignore. By the time the Most High is finished with us, everything, every little teaching will be on just a word. Every little detail. Continue, please.
And the Levites stood with the instruments of David, and the priests with the trumpets. And Hezekiah commanded to offer the burnt offering upon the altar. And when the burnt offering began, the song of Yahuwah began also with the trumpets, and with the instruments ordained by David, king of Yasharal.
Yes? Continue.
And all the congregation worshipped, and the singers sang, and the trumpeters sounded, and all this continued until the burnt offering was finished.
Hey.
And
29.
when they had made an end of offering, the king and all that were present with him bowed themselves and worshipped.
Continue.
Moreover, Hezekiah the king and the princes commanded the Levites to sing praise unto Yahweh with the words of David and of Asaph the seer. And they sang praises with gladness, and they bowed their heads and worshipped.
All right. So that's the trumpet and worship. So let's look at the two silver trumpets now. The book of Numbers 10, 1 to 10. Numbers 10, 1 to 10. Read, please.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Make thee two trumpets of silver. Of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly and for the journeying of the camps.
All right. So we have to know Torah. We have to know the law, right?
Yeah.
So we have to know what the sounds on the trumpet means, because there are varying sounds that mean different things. Verse 3.
And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to thee at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
Continue.
And if they blow but with one trumpet, then the princes, which are heads of the thousands of Yasharal, shall gather themselves unto thee.
All right. So we see right there different codes in the trumpets. Verse 5. Shamuel?
Oh, reading. Sorry, my mic was muted. When ye blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east part shall go forward. When
Verse
ye
6.
blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journeys.
Mm-hmm.
But when the congregation is to be gathered together, ye shall blow, but ye shall not sound an alarm.
Interestingly, didn't tell us here what the alarm was. What sound was the alarm? He just said an alarm. Ah. Continue.
And the sons of Aaron, the priest, shall blow with the trumpets. And you see why they put trumpets there instead of shofar?
Yeah.
Because when you see trumpets, it's gonna sound like this modern trumpets that people play, and it has nothing to do with that.
Yes.
You know,
Let me see the meaning of that trumpets that they put there. That trumpet there is from its sounded. It's a different trumpet. I don't see the shofar there. But the silver trumpet. These are I guess these are special trumpets, because it said silver trumpets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Continue.
And if ye go to war in your land against the enemy,
No.
no.
Verse
And the
8.
sons of Aaron, the priest, shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever through your generations.
You see how important the trumpet is?
Yeah.
An ordinance contained for trumpet blowing for the priests forever. Verse 9.
And if ye go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresseth you, then ye shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and ye shall be remembered before Yahuwah your Allah, and ye shall be saved from your enemies.
You see that, Shamuel?
Yeah.
You see the power
Yep.
behind the shofar?
It's a war cry. Doo, 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 doo.
No, the important thing is, when you blow the alarm, ye shall be remembered before
Remembered.
Yahuwah. Just for sounding the alarm. Just for blowing the trumpet. He will save you from your enemies.
Yeah. Rescue.
It's very powerful.
We need to go blow some more.
So we're going to look at more uses of the trumpets. Trumpets for war. Read Numbers 31:6, please.
All right. Numbers 31:6. Oh, okay. You have to take the screen back to. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Numbers 31:6. And Moshe sent them to the war, 1,000 of every tribe, them and Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, to the war, with the holy instruments, and the trumpets to blow in his hand.
Trumpets for war, right?
Yeah.
Don't go to war without the trumpets.
Without a trumpet.
All right, top right. Trumpet for feasts.
Psalm 81, verse 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed, on our solemn feast day.
So on the feast days, solemn here is not how it sound. You use solemn in English. These mean happy feasts. Opposite of what I always thought. Then it says it's a real solemn occasion. It's a sad occasion. But here, solemn actually means a happy celebratory feast. And the new moon and then the time appointed, you blow the trumpet. Trumpets for a celebration. Bottom left. 2 Samuel 6:14-15.
And David danced before Yahuwah with all his might. And David was girded with a linen ephod. So David and all the house of Yasharal brought up the ark of Yahuwah with shouting and with the sound of the trumpet.
Hey, you see the trumpet? Very prolific instrument. Trumpets to bring fear. Amos 3:6 and 2 Ezra 6:23. Go ahead, please.
Shall a trumpet be blown in the city? The people not be afraid. Shall there be evil in the city, and Yahuwah hath not done it? And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, yeah,
All right, go ahead.
which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid.
All right, so we know the trumpet is a calling together of his people. So when the people are there and they hear the trumpet, then everybody's gonna be afraid and gonna be wondering, I wonder what it is now. What is it now? Remind me of the days when I was growing up and there was no social media, no cell phone. When we lived in our community and people died, it was just word of mouth. So there was a way they used the church bell to toll whenever someone died. So when they died, it would be like one tung, and then a good while after, relatively long time after, a year, another tung. Now, as soon as you hear that, you know that somebody from that church has died. And so you start wondering, I wonder it's who? Wonder who died? And we go out and ask, and we hear, oh, Miss So-and-so died.
Wow.
You know, that's it. So it's the same thing with the trumpet. The trumpet sounding. People are going to be afraid and be wondering, what is this?
So the instrument they put here as trumpet,
Yes.
with a little bit of research, is called the fascinus. All right, fascinus. Now it's a war trumpet. It's a war. It has to do with frequencies. So when you blow a certain pitch, it terrifies people. When you blow a certain pitch, it can blow people's eardrum. It does many things. It was a very same instrument. It's a very dangerous instrument that the Grecians learned from the children of Yasharal because Allah gave them that instrument. Yeah.
Oh, no, in which one? Amos 3:6 is shofar. So I don't know. It says shofar here.
I'll try and pass on that information to you so you have a look at it as well. It's on most of the ancient statues. It's on it.
But they have different trumpets in different
For different purposes, yeah.
Yeah. So we have the trumpet when appointing a king. 1 Kings 1, 34 to 35.
And let Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet anoint him their king over Yasharal, and blow ye with a trumpet, and say, Alua save King Solomon. Then ye shall come up after him, that he may come and sit upon my throne, for he shall be king in my stead, and I have appointed him to be ruler over Yasharal and over Judah.
All right. Now, trumpets for heralding, announcing Yahuwah. This is going to look at when it comes to the covenants, or the first covenants. The trumpet was integral in the first covenant. Let me get this thing on. What is happening? Okay. All right, so we got, where are we there? Exodus 19, 12 to 20. Go ahead, please.
And thou shalt set bounds unto the people round about, saying, Take heed to yourselves, that ye go not up into the mount, or touch the border of it. Whosoever toucheth the mount shall be surely put to death. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's because the Holy One is touching down. Verse 13.
There shall not an hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned, or shot through. Whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet sounded long, they shall come up to the mount.
When the trumpet soundeth long, they shall come up to the mount. Verse 14.
And Moses went down from the mount unto the people, and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, Be ready against the third day. Come not at your wives.
All right, come not at your wives, because you must be what? Sanctified. So that is why on the Shabbat, you don't come at your wives on the Shabbat, because it is a set apart day. All right? As it says in the book of Jubilees. Go ahead, verse 16.
And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings, and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all people that was in the camp trembled.
Wow. So the trumpet for fear, and the trumpet was exceeding loud. All right? So the covenant, the trumpet for the covenant, that's the power behind the trumpet. Integral part of the first covenant. Verse 17.
And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with Alua, and they stood at the nether part of the mountain. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because Yahuwah descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly.
19.
And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long, and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and Alua answered him by a voice.
All right, so you see the trumpet. It's a very powerful instrument, isn't it?
Yeah.
Verse 20.
And Yahuwah came down upon Mount Sinai, and on the top of the mount, and Yahuwah called Moses up to the top of the mount, and Moses went up.
All right. And let's continue in Exodus 20, 18 to 21. Yeah, go ahead, please.
And all the people saw the thunderings, and the lightnings, and the noise of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off.
Can you imagine this sight? Can you fathom this sight, Shamuel?
Whether
Thunder. Huh?
I'm saying, I wonder what it is. Was it a spacecraft coming down? Was it
Yeah.
with
Thunder.
fire melting mountains and yo?
Man. And then, and on top of that, the lightnings. And we know
Yeah,
lightnings can be loud.
yeah,
And thunder can be loud. And if it is the most like coming with thunder, it's gonna be the loudest thunder. The most
yeah,
scary thunder.
yeah.
And on top of that,
Earthquakes.
noise of a trumpet sounding long.
Boom.
Clack, 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 clack. Imagine. That's why the people are so fearful. And what did they say unto Moses? 19.
And they said unto Moses, "Speak thou with us, and we will." See, now they trembling, now they shaking.
Yeah.
And they said unto Moses, "Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not Allah speak with us, lest we die."
So, you know, the Most High did this for once, for it to be recorded, to show how we must fear him and fear his power and his awesome majesty and his awesome might. That's why he gave it. Because in 20, Moses said,
And Moses said unto the people, "Fear not, for Allah is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not."
hey, you see this verse? This verse must be played before us at all times. When you fear Yahuwah, you have to be utterly terrified of him. We keep telling it over and over again, and some people just cannot believe it. It's like they cannot believe that you're going to have a Most High, that you have to be terrified of him. What did Moses say here in 20? Read it again.
And Moses said unto the people, "Fear not, for Allah is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not."
Yeah?
In
That's
other
what,
words,
yeah.
he's come to introduce himself to show you that fearing him is not a figure of speech, it's literal. All right?
Literal.
Literal. You've got to fear, you've got to tremble. Look at the people who says, and they stood far off.
Off.
Far off. Let Yahuwah be your dread.
Yes. And what did the people do? The people behaved themselves throughout for a good while. Yeah?
Yeah.
Until the fear of him wore off.
Yeah.
So that is why we have to keep reminding people to fear Yahuwah. We have to keep reminding each other, fear Yahuwah. So people don't think, when you talk about fearing Yahuwah, people don't think that, oh, no. You have to fear him because his judgments, and we tell people, you need to read the Apocalypse book, the apocalyptic books, the Apocalypse of Isaiah, the Apocalypse of Thomas, the Apocalypse of Paul, the Apocalypse of Peter, where they tell you what happens when the wrongdoers go down to Sheol. When they go down to Sheol and they see the judgment, then they regret and they cannot reverse and go back because they did not have the fear of Yahuwah. Because Yahuwah just keeps himself in the background and keep watching and say, look at them, look at these people, they don't fear me. Hey, but when they come to Sheol, they are going to see. All right? So we as leaders, we have to remind you of the fear of Yahuwah. So if anyone leaves, they cannot say we did not warn them. We ourselves have to also have the fear of Yahuwah, because what is down there is not pretty at all. Just go and read the apocalyptic books and you will see. That's the Apocalypse of Isaiah, Paul, Thomas, Peter. I was reading the Apocalypse of Peter and I had to stop. I had to stop and take a break. I said, no, I can't. Too much, too much. It's too horrible. Yeah, it's too horrible. I was reading it in the night and I had to cut it. No, I can't go to my bed like this. And I woke up in the morning. So I was going to continue. I said, no, can't start my morning like this. So I have to go and do the rest of it. It's horrible. So we have to know, we have to fear Yahuwah. Please, people. Verse 21 says, let me go back.
And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where Alua was.
All right. All right. Second Chronicles 13, 12 to 16. What's going on here? It's sticking. All right. Oh, machine running slow today. Come on. All right, go ahead, please.
And behold, Alua himself is with us for our captain, and his priests with sounding trumpets to cry alarm against you. O children of Yasharal, fight ye not against Yahuwah, Alua of your fathers, for ye shall not prosper.
So it was Yasharal, northern kingdom and southern kingdom, Judah here going to war. And Judah was telling them that Yahuwah is their captain. Because his priests are over their side with their trumpet to cry alarm against them. So if they come and fight against Judah, Yahudah, they will be fighting against the Most High. Verse 13.
But Jeroboam caused an ambushment to come about behind them. So they were before Judah, and the ambushment was behind them.
Continue.
And when Judah looked back, behold, the battle was before and behind. And they cried unto Yahuwah, and the priests sounded with the trumpets.
See? When it's war, the trumpets are actually, they're actually aligned. It seems that the frequencies are aligned with the Most High. Isn't that so,
Yep.
Shamuel?
Yep, exactly that. Exactly that. You are trained to blow it at a certain frequency.
Yes. And they cried unto Yahuwah, and the priests sounded the trumpets. So, crying unto Yahuwah, sounding the trumpets. I remember we read that he said earlier that when they cry unto Yahuwah and sound the trumpet, Yahuwah will hear them and deliver them from their enemies. Verse 15.
Then the men of Judah gave a shout. And as the men of Judah shouted, it came to pass that Alua smote Jeroboam and all Yasharal before Abijah and Judah.
Continue.
And the children of Yasharal fled before Judah, and Alua delivered them into their hand.
So you see the importance of the trumpet in battle.
Yeah.
Very, very, very important.
It's a cry for help.
Yep. So even the day of Yahuwah, trumpet is going to be sounded to herald the day of Yahuwah. Read Joel 2:1, please.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahuwah cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
It is very close. So when it is very close, it says, blow the trumpet in Zion. So here's where we are now. We did mostly Old Testament. Now we're going to see the trumpet and the New Testament. The trumpet and Hamashiach's return. The last trump. Matityahu 24, 29 to 31. We think we were done with trumpets? No, we're not. Just begun.
Tum, 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 tum. Yep.
Matthew 24, 29. We think it is an Old Testament thing. No, it's not. It's here with us forever. 29. Read,
Immediately
please.
after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from Shamayin, and the powers of the Shamayin shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in the Shamayin. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of Shamayin with power and great glory. And he
Ah,
shall appear, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in the heavens. No,
verse 31.
31. And he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of Shamayin to the other.
Can you imagine this scenario? This is akin to what happened on Sinai, or worse. Look at this. The sun shall be darkened, the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Can you imagine this scenario? Man. And then the sound of the trumpet to gather his elect.
Bum, 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 bum.
All right. 1 Corinthians 15, 52 to 53. The trumpet and the return of Hamashiach. So this is why we have a memorial. The memorial of the trumpets is forever because it is always pointing to something. What it's pointing to now is the return of Hamashiach. Read, please.
In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
So
this
when it's time for the resurrection of the dead, the trumpet again is going to be what's instrumental. The trumpet is going to raise the dead. When it sounds, that's when the dead shall rise. So it is like the frequency that will be coming from that trumpet
Yeah,
will be what will awaken those who are dead in Messiah.
yeah.
And those who are alive at the time will also be changed as well. Verse 53.
For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality.
Yeah. 1 Thessalonians 4, 16 to 17. Are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead.
For Yahuwah himself shall descend from Shamayin with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Alua, and the dead in Mashiach shall rise first.
It's the Master himself shall descend from heaven, Hamashiach, with the
Yes.
trump of Alua. So, with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Alua. So, this is the trumpet, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. And this is what they call the rapture. 17, please.
Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yahuwah in the air. Sorry, to meet the Master in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Master.
All right, so they will be caught up, but just looking at the aspect that it will be a trumpet again that will affect this thing.
Ascension.
Yeah. Trumpets on the book of Revelation, apart from the fact that when Yahukanan saw Hamashiach and he spoke to Hamashiach, his voice sounded like a trumpet. That's Revelation 1:10, I believe. Revelation 1:10. Yeah. Read, please.
I was in the spirit on Yahuwah's day, and heard behind me a great voice, as of a trumpet.
As of a trumpet. So his voice sounded like a trumpet. Revelation 8 1 to 2.
And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in the Shamaim about the space of half an hour. And I saw the seven angels which stood before Aluah, and to them were given seven trumpets.
7 trumpets. And verse 6.
And the seven angels which had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of the trees was bent up, and all green grass was bent up.
All right, so here's the thing. The trumpets are used to herald the, what are these, 7 plagues?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it continues and continues about the 7 plagues. Just showing the importance of trumpets throughout the scriptures. All right? We're almost done. Short thing today. The trumpet to herald the end of the age. So when the age is going to be over, as we said before, the day of Yahuwah, read 2 Ezra 6 23 to 25 or 24.
Share the screen.
Oh. Okay, go ahead.
2 Ezra 6:23 to 25. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run.
Trumpet again. The trumpet again heralding the end of the age. So the trumpet is going to be with us throughout this age. All right? So when we look at the day of trumpets, this is just giving a little summary behind the power behind the trumpet. And we saw how powerful the trumpet was in that it is used for praise, it is used for worship, to confuse the enemy, to used to anoint a king, to gather the people together, to get deliverance from our enemies, yeah, to herald the return of Hamashiach. That's a very important one. So we are in the day of trumpets, and the command did not give us any information about trumpets. But now we know the most important thing for us where trumpets are concerned now is that it points towards the return of Hamashiach. And even as we are in this time, thinking and talking about fleeing out of the midst of Babylon, it is for this very reason that we are looking for the trump to sound and for us to be changed. And for us, of course, to inherit the kingdom of Shammai. All right? So that is what trump actually means. Don't know if Shamuel has anything to say. But before we leave, I just want to say, I hope you are tuned in on Shabbat, Yahuwah willing. We hope to look at the question as to whether or not fleeing to a particular place that you were told to flee to, if that is actually scriptural. And we're going to see there are many people claiming, oh, other scriptures and saying not scriptural. We're going to look at those scriptures and we're going to show that many people will be surprised as to what the scriptures say. And you'll be surprised how scriptural it is. And probably you're going to see how scriptural it is. You're going to be packing up right away to also flee. Trust me on that. So hope to see you on Shabbat, Yahuwah willing. Yahuwah willing. All right? All right. So, Shamuel, do you have anything to say?
Not on this one. Not on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is rather simple. This is us now really teaching, just highlighting certain things. All right. Is there any of our brothers who has anything to say?
Shazak.
Kazakh.
Kazakh, sorry. Weren't the walls of Jericho destroyed by trumpets?
Oh yeah. Hey, I had originally put that one in. I don't know where it vanished to. Thank you, Zalali. Yeah, I had put it in. Where is it? All right. I think let me go for it. That thing slipped out. I don't know. I don't know. Is it Numbers 22? No. No one knows while I'm looking for it.
Are you looking for the walls of Jericho?
Yeah.
Oh. It's Joshua
Joshua,
Joshua
Yeah,
6.
Joshua
Yeah.
6,
Yeah.
verse let me see.
Verse 6. You can start from 6.
Oh yeah. Let me see where I want to. Verse 6. Yeah, go ahead.
Share the script.
Oh. Why? This thing is going so slow. All right, go ahead.
And Joshua the son of Nun called the priest and said unto them, take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of Yahuwah.
All right, so this is a shofar, right? Yeah. Right, Shamuel?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
Boom, and the wall starts coming down.
Yeah. Verse 7.
And he said unto the people, pass on and compass the city, and let him that is armed pass on before the ark of Yahuwah. And it came to pass, when Joshua had spoken unto the people, that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns, passed on before Yahuwah, and blew with the trumpets, and the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah followed them. And
Yes.
the armed men went before the priests that blew with the trumpets, and the reward came after the ark, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And
See how
Joshua
many
had
times-
commanded the
See how many times they tell you about them blowing with the trumpets. That's how integral a part of it, of their lives it was. Continue.
And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you shout. Then shall ye shout.
Uh-huh.
So the ark of Yahuwah compassed the city, going about it once, and they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of Yahuwah. And 7 priests bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of Yahuwah went on continually and blew with the trumpets. And the armed men went before them, but the reward came after the ark of Yahuwah, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And the second day they compassed the city once and returned into the camp. So they did 6 days. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priest blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, shout, for Yahuwah hath given you the city.
All right.
Wait.
So guess what I'm noticing, Shamuel?
Yeah.
In several of the occasions, the trumpet is accompanied by shouting. You notice that?
Yeah. Hey! And
Yeah.
intimidation. They intimidating the whole people.
Yeah, and that is when Yahuwah usually acts. That's what I'm seeing. I saw this, I think, a couple times before. It showed that when they shout, the Most High acted when they shout with the trumpets. Wow. Continue.
So there's a sign, and then everyone shouts together with the trumpets.
Yes.
Ooh.
All right. So that should be it. And we know about this, the thing about the wall fell down.
Yeah.
Verse 20.
Yeah. So the people shouted when the priest blew with the trumpets. And it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city.
So you see the combination.
Yeah.
Sound of the trumpet and the shouting. That was when things happened. Oh boy.
It must have been scary, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, Yahoo! Yahoo!
And guess what? They were hearing them silent for such a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right. All right. Great contribution, Zalali. Thank you for that. Anyone else?
It looked like Jamal was going to say something.
Oh, he said no.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Here's a question. Let me see it. All right. Just waiting on the questions from YouTube. That's the first question in the meantime. I haven't been able to watch yet, but can you share what Hebrew calendar you are using, please? The calendar I use says trumpets is October 2nd. Shalom. The calendar is on our website. It's on the calendar page as well as on the download page. So if you go on the download page or the calendar page, you will have access to the calendar that we use. Oh, the meaning of, and the other question was the meaning of re-reward. Re-reward means those in the back. All right. Let me go into the meaning of it. Re-reward. Numbers 10:5. All right. Re-reward there means asaf, to gather for any purpose, hence to receive, take away, that is remove, destroy, leave behind, put up, restore, assemble, bring, consume, destroy, fetch. What a whole lot of meanings. Whoa. But let me go to I think it means those in the back. Reward. Let me go to the dictionary meaning because those too many meanings there. Meaning of reward. Reward. The rear guard, yeah. And the rear guard refers to a military detachment detailed to bring up and protect the rear of a main body. Yeah, so that's it. So it's those in the back, those who protect the back of the group. All right. Right. So this is just a little short look at the Day of Trumpets, and as I was saying, we hope that you can be with us on Shabbat, Yahuwah willing, when we'll be looking at something very interesting. All right. So until next time, shalom on YouTube. All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
What's going on here?